Okay, this is going to be your review for chapter 3.1. First thing I want to do is I want to cover this expression and these 6 questions. Now, first of all, the number of terms. If you notice, our terms are separated by an addition sign and a subtraction sign. So in this case, there are 5 terms. Okay? Let me go ahead and erase that. Then second of all, it says, what are the coefficients? Well, if you look, the number in front, like negative 4x to the fourth, that number next to the x or next to the variable is your coefficient. So in this case, there's 4, there's 2. Now, there's in this a squared, there's a 1 in front of it, so that's negative 1, and then 5. 6 is not a coefficient. It does not have a variable attached to it. But what is 6? 6 is actually your constant. All right, 6 is actually your constant. Now, let's go ahead and look. I'm going to go ahead and erase those real quick. All right, let me take care of that. All right, now, what I do want to look at is I want to look at the 4, 5, and 6. This is what is the exponent of the variable in the first term? Well, this is your first term. So let me go ahead and make that a little bit smaller. So in this case, negative 4x to the fourth is your first term. The variable is your 4. So that's what I put 4 there. All right. Let me go ahead and erase that, and I'll erase this real quick. All right, now, the next one, in this case, it says, what is the exponent in the fourth term? Well, your fourth term happens to be right there. And when you have 5a, that exponent is going to be a 1. And then finally, the last thing we're going to talk about is the exponent in the fifth term. That's this question here. So if you notice, the fifth term is 6. Well, look at this little explanation right here. 6 is the same as saying 6 times x to the 0 power. Because remember, anything to the 0 power is 1. Therefore, that would be the same as saying 6 times 1, which is simply just 6. Now in this problem, question number 7, it says evaluate. So remember, when you evaluate, you're going to plug in. So we have n is 2. So every time I see an n, I'm going to plug in 2. And that's what I have. 2 times 3 minus 3 times, or 10 minus 3 times 2, all to the third power. Now, order of operation says, hey, I got to take care of the inside first. So 2 times 3 is 6. So 10 minus 6 is going to be 4. So the next step is inside the parentheses. So 10 minus 6 is 4. And then I have 2 times 4 to the third power. You do the exponent first. So 4 to the third power is 64. You simply multiply it by 2, and you get 128. Now, with question number 8, it says evaluate the algebraic expression. Well, again, you're going to plug in. Every time you see an A, you're going to put a 4, a B a 3, and C a 5. Well, show all your work and circle your final answer. Now, notice what I've done. I put parentheses around the top and the bottom. The reason why I've done that is you need to know that you need to do the numerator first and then the denominator. Okay? So, here we go. In this case, I have inside the parentheses on the numerator, I'm going to do the exponent first, which gives me 25. Then, after I do that, I'm going to do the exponent on the bottom. Now, that's 3 cubed, so that's 27. Notice how I have rewritten it in the second. I rewrote it in this one right here. I haven't done anything else other than get rid of the exponents. Okay? Now, the next step from here is I have a division and a multiplication. Remember, we read left or right. So I'm going to do my division first. So 16 divided by 4 is 4. On the bottom, I'm going to do the subtraction first. So 4 minus 27 is negative 23. Now that once you have simplified that, let me go ahead and get rid of that. There we go. Now, once we have done that, what I'm going to do is I'm left with 4 times 25, which is 100. Negative 23 plus 3 is negative 20. And you simplify that by dividing 100 divided by negative 20, and you get negative 5. Now, on a side note, remember negative 5, when you do you have your natural numbers, you have your whole numbers, then you have Q and Z. Remember, Z are your integers, and Q are your rational numbers. These are rational. These are integers. These are whole numbers. And these are natural numbers. Now remember, -5, if it was +5, it'd be a natural number. But we didn't introduce negatives till here. So it is a Z and Q. So it's an integer and a rational number. And of course, they're all real numbers. Just a little side note there. Thought I'd bring that back into play. All right? Now with number 9, you had to read a lot of words. However, it basically boiled down to that one simple expression. How much money will Nicole earn if she has 3 hours of private tutoring? We know that H is going to be the number of hours she tutors. $75 is, if she doesn't tutor or not, she's going to make $75 a day, whether she has any tutoring or not. But in this day, she's got 3 hours of tutoring. So when you plug that 3 in, you do order of operations, which is 3 times 15, which is 45. And then you simply just add 75 plus 45. Now, you get $120. But I want to reflect it in the context of the problem, okay? So notice what I did. Nicole will earn $120 if she works 3 hours of tutoring. Make sure you always refer back to the original question. Okay, this is a two-part question. Now, Daniel sells square frames of various sizes made of wood. To find the area of a frame, Daniel uses this formula. Now, it told you what the S was. It told you what W was. So now when we get down to question A, it says, hey, find the area. Well, that's why I have A's right there. That measures 10 inches on the side. So there's my S and a width of 2. Well, every time I say S, I put 10. Every time I say a W, I put 2. Well, what I end up getting is this row right here. 10 squared minus 10, parentheses, 10 minus 2 times 2, all to the power of 2. Now, you have to do the inside first. 2 times 2 is 4. Then, I still got parentheses to worry about. 10 minus 4 is 6. Well, at the same time, since 100 squared or 10 squared is not associated with the parentheses, it's outside, I can still work on it because it's not affecting anything else. So 10 squared is 100. And then what I end up with is 100 minus 6 squared. Well, do your order of operations and your exponents. 6 squared is 36, so 100 minus 36 is 64 inches squared. Now, remember, this is how big a picture frame is. That's how much wood he's using. This next problem, number 10, B, this one right here, this is the one we just got through doing, A right here. Well, on the second problem, it's a continuation of problem A. Now, I've already done problem A. Now I'm going to do problem B. And if you look, what I've done is, it's saying now, hey, he's going to charge 60 cents per square inch. Well, up here, since I had 64 square inches, I could have multiplied that by 0.6 and found out how much he charged for this first one. But instead, I've given you new dimensions. Now I've given you a 20-inch side and a 3.5-inch width. Follow your same steps, all right? Same order of operations. In this case, you get 400 minus 169, which is 231 inches. Square inches, excuse me. So now what you're going to do is this right here. You're going to multiply your 60 cents times your 231 square inches because you're making 60 cents per square inch. And what you end up with in a complete sentence is $138.68 per frame with a side of 20 inches and a width of 3.5 inches. What I should have said, or what would have been better, is Daniel sells a frame of 20 inches by 3.5 inches for $138.60. This last question is a very simple question. It kind of tells you that T represents his total sales. The last sentence says, hey, Julian had sales of $475. So you should automatically know that T is $475. Okay? So we're going to plug $475 in for T, and it goes right there. Well, when I do that, order of operations says I do parentheses first. That comes out to $385. Then order of operations says, hey, I do multiplication first because multiplication comes before addition. So that becomes 0.08 times 385 is 30.8. Now I can add, and 450 plus 308 happens to be $450.80. Now, with that being said, I'm going to put in a complete sentence, and Julian will earn $450.80 for the day if he has sales of $475 that day.